would you do if you were scared but had a quest to complete? Hi everyone, I'm Jacob. I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and this was an unexpected one. I picked the book up solely because of the illustration style, because it and a really brief scan through the book made me think of Read the Book, Lemmings, a hilarious book that I absolutely adored and that I recommend. It's quite funny, a story about a ship captain who is telling lemmings that no, in fact, they don't need to run off into the sea following each other, because if they read the book, they'll learn that's not the truth. And it was wonderful. And so when I saw this book that looked sort of similar and sounded kind of interesting, I picked it up and I was not disappointed. It is Kittybunkport by Scott Rothman and Zachariah OHora. As our story starts, our heroes, Chowder and Crackers, live in Kittybunkport, and it's a pretty great place. There are tons of other cats there. They get to work in the sun and nap in the sun and eat lobster, and it's pretty great. The only part that isn't great is the lighthouse that everyone is pretty sure isn't just haunted, but super haunted. And so while they appreciate the light it gives off at night, they give the lighthouse a wide berth when lobster fishing. But one day, the lighthouse goes out. They don't have the lighthouse to guide their ships home anymore, and no one is quite sure what to do about it. And they've all heard stories about the ghosts there, and they all want to avoid it as much as possible, which makes it really bad for Chowder and Crackers when they are nominated to go find out what's happening. And so they head on their way and head up the lighthouse in the pitch dark. And then, out of nowhere, a lobster ghost appears. Well, in fact, it isn't a lobster ghost. It's a silhouette of something. It's the silhouette of a helpful dog who also fishes for a living and happens to have a giant light bulb that happens to be lighthouse size to install to fix things. So once Chowder and Crackers check out this dog's story, that in fact the yellow overalls mean that the dog is a fishing professional, that the yellow boat is in fact very cool, they work with the dog to install the new light bulb. And they're determined that they're never going to be scared of the lighthouse again. And they part ways with the dog, who heads home to Bark Harbor. And Chowder and Crackers head back to Kittybunkport, where they're treated like heroes. And that's the end of the story. Now, there isn't much in the way of surprises here. There is plenty of silliness in that when Chowder and Crackers are doing various things, one of them will say, well, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm scared. And the other says, well, that's good, because I would say I'm super scared. And that's a fun joke that gets repeated throughout the book, where one of them will say something very reassuring and how they're not scared by this, and the other one will say something that makes me think a little bit of Fear from the Inside Out movies, where they in fact are very scared of that exact thing for reasons. And it's a really fun back and forth, and it's a fun recurring gag through the book. The idea that there's a haunted lighthouse is something that I think most of us can engage with. There are always the stories of the weird house in your neighborhood, the old school, the store that's been closed for years and no business lasts long there. There are all sorts of myths and legends on a local level about the buildings that surround us day to day. So the idea that there's a haunted lighthouse fits right into that. And the fact that these two scaredy cats were delivered from things by a friendly dog was kind of a fun surprise. That they're saved by this just complete out of nowhere stranger who has no reason to be there or to help them, and they've never heard of Bark Harbor before or anything. So it really is out of nowhere, but it's fun because the dog shows up and immediately engages with them at their level. The dog explains that, well, as you can tell by the extremely yellow pants I'm wearing, I am a dog that fishes professionally. So I anchored my very cool boat out there and came in to turn the light on, but I can't get high enough to change the light bulb. And rather than the cats questioning why this dog is there, rather than them continuing to insist that he is in fact a lobster ghost, they check for the truth of his statement that he is in fact wearing yellow pants and that his boat is cool, and so on. And it fits in with the tone of the book so well. It's very, very funny. As I mentioned, the art style makes me think of Read the Book Lemmings, and I really should have checked before I recorded to see if Zachariah or OHora was in fact the author of that, because the illustrations really do remind me of it. They're fun, bright colors, sort of sketchy-ish. In short, I like it, I recommend it. Pair it with Read the Book Lemmings. I think those two work really good together. The other one that I might pair it with, I might be tempted to pair it with Who Wet My Pants. I think that would be a really, really fun 1-2 storytime punch. And I think readers of this would really like that book as well. So I like it, I recommend it. Go borrow it from your public library. While I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell a council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving the materials, programs, and services they offer. And a few good words in the right ears might make a world of difference. Now, if by some chance you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thanks for listening to me tell you the reasons why this book is not bunk. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back to see what else I have to talk about from the CowHatLibrarian. Thank you. Bye now.